Today we're making chocolate crinkles. These are just a delicious cookie, very rich chocolate taste, soft in the inside, crunchy on the outside, and these happen to have a secret ingredient. Let's get started. Zozo, what are you doing? Oh my goodness. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put our flour, cocoa, this is unsweetened cocoa, baking soda, baking powder, and salt into the bowl. We're going to whisk that together. Hi, Baxter. Okay, so that's mixed. We're going to set that aside for the moment. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the brown sugar, eggs, espresso powder, and this is an optional item. If you don't want to use this, it does give it the most kind of a deep, tangy, almost bitter taste, but it's amazing. It really does elevate these, and I'm going to whisk this in a minute, but I'm going to get a spoon first and get this started because the whisk is hard to break up. Oh, and the vanilla. We want 2 teaspoons. I think I've put too much in here, so okay, and we're just going to mix this up a little bit and then start with the whisk. Oh, I can smell that espresso powder, and it just adds such a nice flavor. Okay, let's take this whisk. You just have to keep working that to break up those lumps of brown, it's probably brown sugar. Okay, we're going to leave that for a minute and let it sit. And then we're going to take, we're going to melt the butter in a pan. You can do this in the microwave, but as I've said in other videos, I find that I have more control this way. I can control the heat and I see it. And so I prefer to do, we're going to melt some chocolate that I've cut up. So this is unsweetened chocolate, and the recipe asks you to chop it up so that it's easier to melt. And so I just took a knife and just chopped on through, but we are melting this, and you can get this as fine as you want. I haven't chopped, everything is, you can just keep going, but that looks pretty good. There's still a few pieces in there that are bigger than if I was putting this in a recipe. I would keep going, but we don't need to because we're actually going to melt all of this. And I'm just going to let that butter melt before I start putting anything else in that. And I have this on a medium heat right now, and that's almost melted, so I'm going to start putting that chocolate in there. And then we're just going to stir this gently until, and you can see because we chopped it up, it's almost completely melted. Just going to get those well combined, and I'm going to turn the heat right off. Those are perfectly, there's residual heat in there now, and the rest of those that aren't quite melted are going to melt. So just going to stir this. So that melted in about less than 30 seconds really, and we're going to add that to the egg mixture. Okay, so we're going to get that all really well mixed together, And I am not a big chocolate person, but honestly, when I make these, I can hardly stay away from them because they're deep, rich chocolate flavoring. Oh my goodness, and they're so rich in your mouth, and they've got sugar on the outside, and it's just the most delicious cookie. So we've done that, and now we're going to add the dry mixture to this wet mixture. Just going to give this a big stir, get everything coated and covered. You just want all that flour to disappear. I think what those little pieces are in there are cocoa. And what I should have done, which I did with the espresso powder, was I strained it. I put it in a strainer, and I didn't do that, so it will dissolve in there eventually. But when you see things like that, it's just, I should have just taken, you can squish them right down. I should have taken the time to actually strain those out. Okay, we're going to take the ice cream scoop, and we're going to scoop these cookies up. We're going to drop them in regular sugar. I'm going to cover that completely with sugar. Make sure it's completely coated. Roll them in a ball. These take a little more time than some cookies. And then we're going to drop them in confectionery sugar and do the same thing. And so now that we've got the confectionery sugar on that, we're going to drop those gently on there. All right, so now we're going to bake these at 325. Let me wash my hands. About 12 minutes, but you want the edges, they'll start cracking and the edges will start turning brown. This is a cookie that you cannot overcook, so I'm going to start this at 10 minutes and see how we do from there. So here are the cookies. I put them in for 10 minutes to start and then put them in for about another 30 seconds or so. And these look perfect. The edges have just started to set. I can feel that they're kind of crunchy on the side, and the actual cookie part looks wet still, and that's this cookie, and they're supposed to look like that. So they look perfect, and we'll let those sit for about 10 minutes, and we'll come back and take them off the pan. Okay, so I'm going to take these off of the pan now and put them on a cookie tray, and they feel perfect. So these are covered completely, and they are squishy in the middle, and the outside is just perfect. It's crunchy on the outside. These are delicious. If you want more cookie recipes, click here, and we'll see you next time.